Hi everyone, I'm Namita and welcome to Yoganama. In today's session, I'm going to take you through some foundational stability work for the shoulder joint, which is really going to help you build the right foundation for advanced yoga postures. Doing these exercises on a regular basis will really help you ensure that the shoulder stays strong and mobile. Alright, let's begin. We are going to start in a prone position. So come to lie down with your hands forward and bring the forehead down and see if that feels comfortable. In case it doesn't feel comfortable, you can also put a towel or something under the head to make sure the neck does not go through any kind of discomfort. We are first going to begin in a T position, which is I'm going to keep my hands out wide, forehead down, lift the hands up as high as they will go, squeeze the shoulder blades together actively and hold this position for a few seconds and then bring it down. Let's continue. Inhale, lift, squeeze the shoulder blades actively. Feel the engagement in the upper back, release. Inhale, lift, squeeze for 2 seconds and down. Lift, squeeze for 2 seconds, release, hold. That squeezing action at the top is really important, so keep that in mind as you move through these. Let's do 3 more. Hold at the top, come down, 2 more, lift, squeeze and down. 1 more time, lift, squeeze and down. Take a few breaths because we are going to repeat this now, but we are going to externally rotate the shoulder, which means the thumbs will be pointing up. So pointing both the thumbs up, palms facing forward. Let's begin. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades now in this position. Release. Inhale, lift, squeeze, release. Round 3 and back. 4 and back. 5, actively engage. 6, come down. 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Release and just wiggle the shoulders if you need to. We are going to repeat the same thing now, but we're going to move the hands forward about 30 degrees. So this is my hands exactly at a 90-degree angle to the body. I just move them up 30 degrees and we do the same thing. Lift the shoulders up, hold and squeeze at the top and down for 2 and down, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and release. If you're doing these correctly, you should be feeling a bit of burn by now in the shoulders. Feel free to take a break earlier if you think that this is a bit challenging. So maybe you can do 7 and rest, or you can continue. You can eventually, as you get more comfortable, also add weights. For now, we are going to maintain that same 30-degree angle and this time point the thumbs up, externally rotate the hands. Lift and down. Lift. 3, 4, 5, just a couple of seconds at the top. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and slowly release. And again, take a few deep breaths as we move on to the next one. So this one is going to be a W shape, a 90-degree angle at the elbow. And what we're going to do is lift the elbows and the wrists off the floor and come back down. In this, remember, there's a tendency to lift the elbow higher than the hands. You don't want to do that. You want to keep the forearm parallel to the floor. So avoid this, and that's how you lift. So let's go for 10 more of these. 10. Again, a couple of second holds at the top. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And then slowly release. Take a couple of breaths and take your hands behind, palms facing down. So walk the hands back as further back as you can. Allow yourself to take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to do the same thing, but we have the option to add a variation here. So the first variation is to just lift the hands up and back, point the fingers away from you. The other variation is you can lift up, coming into a cobra or a locust variation, and then slowly come down. I will do 5 of each, and you have the option to choose either way. So first one, point the fingers back, roll the shoulders back, hold and down for 2, and down. 3, 4, 5, release. Now I add the second variation, 6, gently come down. 7, 8, for 9, return, last one, and release. Bring your hands forward, rest your forehead on your palms, or the back of the hand rather. And again, take 3 deep breaths here. Taking a few moments to also observe how the shoulders feel. And then maybe rise up into cobra and switch back into quadruped position. For the next one, we are going to work on external rotation of the shoulder. For that, it will be helpful if you have a resistance band. Even if you don't, just work with an isometric intention, and I will show you how. So here's a resistance band, the full length one. What I'm going to do is loop the belt around my foot and then bring my shoulder and elbow in one line. So 90-degree angles here. In case this is challenging, you can always bend the knee to reduce the amount of pressure that is required, or the stress that is going to go into the shoulder. From here, what I'm going to do is take the hand back, and then slowly with control, allow it to come up. So the movement when you take the hand back can be faster, but make the movement when you return to the starting position a little bit more controlled. So I'm going to keep the knee bent because I've already done this quite a few times earlier in the day today. So let's begin. Take the hand back and slowly return for 1, 2, hold, slowly return, 3, and back, 4, and back, 5. Even if you don't have a resistance band, maybe you can use a dumbbell, just be a little careful with it, or simply pretend that you are moving through a thick atmosphere made of honey, and that will help you create that intensity to some extent. I think we were at 7. Let's do a couple more. 1 more here, and slowly return. Let's move to the other side now. So looping the belt or the band rather onto the other side, and I feel a bit more stronger there, so I'm going to keep the leg straight and return for 1. Take the shoulder back, rather the hand back for 2, 3, and slow return. 4, control as you come back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's slowly let go. Keep the band to one side. We are going to try and do the opposite as well. And I'm going to do that in an isometric way. You can do that with a resistance band if you have some space where you can bring the band up from overhead. But what we're going to do is as we exhale, I'm going to try to bring my hand down without lifting the shoulder off the ground. It's all right even if the shoulder lifts, but we are working on stability, so we are going to work against that. Let's do that in an isometric way for 10. 9, internally rotating without lifting this off the ground. 8, 7, 6, as if I'm pressing against imaginary surface. Where were we? 5. I'm probably reversing the count, but we will continue with that. 4, 3, 2, last one. Release and over to the other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, and release. Just move the shoulders around like you're making snow angels, just full circles in one direction and then the other direction. And come to rise up. Now that we are here and that we are working on the shoulders, we have to also work on scapular stability. So we are going to do that with scapular retraction, protraction, also called scapular push-ups. So for that, what I'm going to do is come into a tabletop position, nice 90-degree angles at the shoulder and the hips. On an inhale, I'll glide the shoulder blades to bring them together. On an exhalation, I'll press the ground away, separate the shoulder blades away from each other. So basically, you're moving the scapula, gliding them across the rib cage using your own intention. To make this more challenging, you can walk the knees back slightly. You want to add even more challenge, you can do these in plank. position. Make sure you're moving from the shoulders and not just from the lower back. So maybe even close your eyes, visualize the scapulae and visualize them gliding sideways across the ribs. Let's do a couple more. And release. We can do these in a bit of different variation as well using the resistance band. So either continue with the variation that you had done earlier, or if you have a resistance band, let me show you what you can do with this. So what I'm going to do is again draw the shoulder blades together and then round them out. Shoulder blades together and then round them out. Let me show it to you from the back as well. So shoulder blades together, pressing and rounding them out. Let's keep doing a couple more now. Maybe more than a couple. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly release. Just little bit stretches for the neck. Let's do some shoulder circles here as well. And hopefully you can sense some lightness and freedom in this area. Over to the other side. Maybe take both the hands up and doing some gentle stretches. Bring the hands forward, hugging in one direction or rather the same direction, just changing which hand is on top. Bringing one elbow and then the other elbow on top. Take the hands behind, interlock the fingers. Shoulders roll back. First keeping the ribs pulled in, and then if you would like, allow yourself to come into a back bend. And slowly release. All right. So we are now good to practice some yoga postures if you would like, or you can combine this session with any of my other classes, especially Hatha and Vinyasa sessions. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.